Trump is trying to stage a coup. It does parallel with a coup.
This may not be a technical coup.
So when we call this a coup, it doesn't quite fit. We don't quite have the language. So maybe it's an auto coup.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. The media doesn't like talking about things that don't fit their narrative. And this week, Team Biden had to actually acknowledge what the internet had actively been suppressing for months. That Biden family business deals detailed on Hunter's laptop are kind of sketchy. But now it's after the election, and it's been revealed that Hunter has been under investigation. So what did the big three networks do? Well, they mentioned it briefly for one day, and they did so in full Democrat protection mode. None of their coverage had any critics of Joe or Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden says he is being investigated by federal prosecutors in Delaware over his taxes. The details of this investigation are unknown, but in a statement, Hunter Biden says he is taking the matter very seriously and is confident that he handled his affairs, quote, legally and appropriately.
Hunter Biden has denied any wrongdoing. His father's transition team said the president-elect is deeply proud of his son and added that he fought through personal attacks of recent months to emerge stronger.
The Biden transition team adding, President-elect Biden is deeply proud of his son.
How could you be anything but proud of Hunter? I mean, right? Media had previously assured us that the information on his business dealings was...
These emails are made up.
The information found on the laptop may be part of a Russian disinformation campaign.
Part of a Russian disinformation effort.
Described by many intelligence experts as having hallmarks.
All the hallmarks of a Russian
disinformation.
Russian disinformation.
Disinformation campaign.
This is a classic example of the right-wing media machine.
Well, those clips have aged so well since October, haven't they? Why do they all repeat the same Democratic talking points? It just couldn't be that they hate Donald Trump and his supporters, right?
I don't think that they should be forgotten, and I don't think that we should look the other way. I think we need to remember.
People must remember and hold you to account.
I do think that people need to be held accountable.
How much are we going to just let pass by?
You cannot come into this White House with the idea that these people aren't the enemy. They are.
The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, at a time of moral crisis, remain neutral.
Shame on them.
And I thought the meeting was all about this new unity and reaching out to understand each other, like CNN's John Avlon this week.
You go to a Trump rally and hold a sign that says, defend democracy, or stop the steal, or stand for truth. These are admirable emotions. They just don't fit the objective reality of what you're actually fighting for.
Ah, yeah, the leftist media, they know reality better than you. And it's a reality that compares Trump supporters to slave owners.
Without knowing it, you've bought into what Abraham Lincoln once called the Wolf's Dictionary. See, back during the real Civil War, Lincoln agonized that both sides believed they were fighting for liberty. Yes, even Confederates who were fighting for slavery.
Oh, yeah, it's just like slavery, sure. And don't forget, on MSNBC, Republicans this week were mass murderers.
I mean, the real blame here is Mitch McConnell, is the Republicans, is the president, is a party that does not want to help people, that is working on one side to actually make sure the pandemic kills as many people as possible. That seems to be the logical consequence of their policy.
Time to go completely tinfoil hat over to MSNBC, and we'll condense Monday's Morning Joe to its essence. Well, not so much that you could just simply flush it, but that you can see that they don't like anyone questioning election results after they declared Biden the winner. And if you do, they go cuckoo.
Trump is trying to stage a coup. It does parallel with a coup.
This may not be a technical coup. It may be, you can call it constitutional coup or an autogol, which is a technical term, but people are using the word coup because it captures the moment a strong man is attempting to steal an election.
This is how a strong man looks. This is how a strong man acts. So when we call this a coup, it doesn't quite fit. We don't quite have the language. So maybe it's an auto coup. Donald Trump's acting like a fascist. If you look up the definition of fascism, so much of what he does fits neatly in there. But a weak, strong man's effort to subvert American democracy.
That insanity brought to you by Sleep Number. Give them a call and tell them to give their advertising support a bit of a rest. What won't rest is the leftist media's absolute disdain for challenging their narratives. In fact, they long for the good old days, when they controlled the news with the big networks and there was no internet or videos that challenged them. Just ask MSNBC's Casey Hunt.
I mean, I guess that's my question for you. I mean, you write a little bit about, and you make the point that with three big networks, we had a handful of, prominent news weeklies, papers that covered the country, had a lot of local journalism. And so the media, quote unquote, as people like to think of it, was in fact a relatively focused, narrow group that if they made decisions together could actually impact things. Now, with this fragmented landscape of these major companies, their decision-making is obviously part of this, and we know they can't shut everything down by themselves because other websites pop up.
Wouldn't it be great if they could just shut down all other opinions except those expressed by the big media? And here I thought journalists were supportive of the First Amendment. Silly me.
The media, quote unquote, as people like to think of it, was in fact a relatively focused, narrow group that if they made decisions together could actually impact things. Now, with this fragmented landscape of these major companies, their decision-making is obviously part of this, and we know they can't shut everything down by themselves.
That's all the time we have this week. I'm Eric Shiner for MRC TV. Please check out MRC-Store for some last-minute gift ideas. MRCTV.org has the latest in videos and info that you need, so please like, share, and subscribe to these videos on the platform of your choice. And yes, we are on Parler and others as well. We're about to take a break, so Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. We'll be returning shortly with a whole new year of leftist media wackiness.